Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. The last video I did, it was talking about consistency and praying daily. So if you have not had a chance to watch that, please go and catch up today. We also started back with Marriage 101. So if you missed the episode of that is on my YouTube as well. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, all that great stuff. Tune in so you can be encouraged, empowered, you can worship with me and everything else that goes on. So today we are going to talk about healing. Why is healing important? What do I need to do to heal? How do I start the process of healing? How do I start the process of my healing? Healing from trauma, healing from abandonment, healing from molestation, healing from being cheated on, healing from what your parents did to you in your past, verbal abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse. How do I heal? How do I heal? Where do I begin? So today in this video, we are going to talk about that. So y'all tune in to the video. So first thing first, y'all know I'm always tie scripture into everything that I do. The first thing that I wrote down was commit to everything in prayer. It is essential when you are going through your process of healing to pray. Psalms 34:18 says, God is close to the brokenhearted. So for those who are hurting, those who are in pain, those who are battling with the biggest struggles that you feel like it's impossible for you to face, guess what? God is the closest to you. Your heart is broken. You've been torn. You've been destroyed. You feel like you can't be put back together. You've been wounded. But guess what? God is close to the brokenhearted. That is Psalms 34:10. Take your mind and heart to him and he will heal you. One thing that we tend to do is we tend to be, what's the good word to use? We tend to be cautious when it comes to God. We tend to be, it ain't stingy. It's another word we can use. We tend to just hold back. It's a word that I'm looking for. But we tend to hold back when it comes to God. We tend to hide when it comes to God. But the only way that our true healing can come is if we open our mouth in prayer. We make our supplication known. Supplication is not just materialistic. Supplication is spiritual too as well when you make your request known unto God. So being that God is close to the brokenhearted, I've been broken, you've been broken. I believe everybody in life has been broken at one point in their life. Whether they share what happened to them in the past or whether they don't. But we all have been broken at one point in our life. And guess what? God is close to them too. God has been portrayed many times. Listen, if anybody has ever been misused, abused, and all that, he was the first one. So as we sit down and we analyze the stuff that we go through, we could take a look and understand that God understands. God understands what you're going through. God understands the pain. God understands the frustration. God understands all that. God understands the worry. But guess what? In order for us to get to the next level and to start walking into our healing, guess what? We have to go talk to God. We have to have a conversation with him. Like we said in the last video when we were talking about prayer, you have to make time. Healing takes time. Healing takes sacrifice as well. Because if you're not willing to sacrifice time for your healing, you won't heal. You will continue to walk around in the same thing over and over again. The second thing I wrote down is let your feelings flow. A lot of people don't have people that they can come to and talk to, who that they can confide in without their business going all over the United States. Find someone to talk to. We got God first. Then what we got next? We find someone that we can see physically, that we know we can trust, right? Besides God. Everybody has an individual they can go and talk to, but this person that you talk to can't be judgmental. Not only they can't be judgmental, they have to know how to listen. Not only do they have to know how to listen, but they have to allow you to let your feelings flow. I was in a situation before where I was talking to my sister about my mom, and in that moment I had never felt so free to really say how I felt, like to be able to flow and say how I feel, because oftentimes you feel like when you keep coming to the same person talking about the same thing, you feel like, okay, they getting tired of me talking, or they getting tired of me sharing how I feel. But you know, in my mind, it is a part of my healing, which it is a part of your healing, because you're releasing it, you're not holding it in, and you have someone to sit there and listen to you. And I was sitting there talking to my sister, and I was able to feel free from my own mind and what my mind was telling me. I was able to release how I was feeling. However I felt, I just allowed it to flow. That's one way you could do it verbally. Another way that you can allow it to flow is by journaling. Get you a journal, write down all your feelings. Most people don't do well with journaling because it takes time to write it out. But if you do better with talking. One thing that I do with the healing process that I've been going through personally, I've been recording it. So every day where I feel like I need a day to like just talk and just flow and say how I feel, in that moment, whether it's a good day or whether it's a bad day or whether it's a day where I'm feeling like just out of it, I sit there, I go to the park, I park my car, silence, say how I feel. I'm riding home from work in my car, I'm feeling a certain way. If I want to cry, if I want to scream, if I want to do it, I use that time, I record it, because I said that's my moment to release it. If I don't have nobody to talk to, if I feel like nobody gonna hear me, guess what? I'm gonna hear me. So what I do is I sit there and I record it. I don't care how long it takes for me to get through it. I don't care how hard I gotta cry. I don't care how loud I gotta scream. In that moment, I'm releasing how I feel. Journaling. Just let it flow. Who gonna judge you besides? Who gonna judge you? Other people judge you. But when you're sitting there and you're talking to yourself, you can't judge you. Who gonna judge you then? Nobody. So that's a good way to do it. Journaling. I said voice recording. Do like a voice memo on your phone. Or you can find someone that you can confide in and talk to. That's another thing. Take one day at a time. That's all you can do. Take one day at a time. Anytime somebody asks me, listen, I'm taking one day at a time. No, none of my days are going to be perfect, but guess what? I'm grateful. So I'm going to keep taking each day at a time. And as I take each day, I'm allowing the healing to process. I'm not allowing a day to go by. I'm not allowing a day to go by without analyzing, without recognizing that I need to heal. Many people will get caught up in doing other things to get their mind off of healing. And that's a problem, because all you're doing is adding more weight to you. But when you make time out of your day to say, listen, how am I feeling today? What's on my mind today? Like, how can I release this so where it don't build up? Because that's how it build up when we keep hiding it. Take one day at a time. Make decisions when you feel at peace. Don't do it because you feel like you got to do it right now. Oh, they need a response right now. Oh, my healing needs to happen right now. No. Take time for the peace to come in. Take time for the love to come back in. Take time for your joy to come back. Listen, don't rush into it. Feel how you feel. Release that. Recognize it. Do something about it. The next thing I wrote down was practice self-care. This is a moment where you can literally use time for yourself. No kids, no husband, no wife, whoever it is. No friends, nobody, no phone. Sometimes I get to a point where I will put my phone on do not disturb. And it's nothing against nobody, I promise. But in that moment, it's just me shutting out the world. It's me shutting out social media. It's me shutting out, because after a while, when you don't make time, that's a whole nother conversation. But when you don't make time for God and you don't make time for yourself, other stuff, it's like, I look at it as if you don't do laundry in a year. Think about that. If you don't do laundry in a year, right? You keep buying clothes, and the clothes that you buy, you put on dirty clothes. You don't wash them clothes. It's literally dirty laundry being piled up on top of each other. That's what's happening. Because you're not taking time to sort through, to get rid of the stuff that's been holding you back. Some of us are carrying too much dirty. Listen, honey, don't get me started. We are carrying too much dirty laundry. So you know what happens? When we start cleaning up, We become frustrated and we throw everything out and start over like what we threw out was never even taken care of. You think because you throw something out and because in your mind you felt like you let it go, you let it go. No, you didn't truly heal. You just felt like because I got rid of it, oh, it's easier for me. No, you never recognized that you were abused. You never recognized that you went through. I was talking to somebody the other day and I was telling them, I was like, we have to learn how to get to the root of our problem. When there is something going on, get to the root. Why are you feeling this way? We don't just start feeling some way out of the blue. Some of us have amazing discernment. I know I do. But we don't start just feeling some way out of the blue. You know what happens? That came from somewhere. That came from your childhood. That came from a previous relationship. It came from somewhere. So we have to recognize that and destroy it at the head. Then you could get rid of it. Once you look that thing, oh my God, this is so powerful to me. Once you look that thing in the face and you allow that thing to know that it doesn't have any control over you, you can tell a mountain to be moved. It's not just by faith, but you can tell a mountain to be moved with your healing. You can tell a mountain to be moved with your voice being activated. One thing I want to say too, this just hit me. This just hit me. I'm going to have to do a part 2. May have to. This just hit me. We have to be careful of what laundry, dirty laundry, we leave laying around. You want to know why? So powerful. Our kids are going to pick it up. When we carry that dirty laundry from a previous relationship and we bring it to our children, like our children know what's going on, when we bring that dirty laundry of abuse because we never recognize it, so we start verbally abusing our children. When we bring that abandonment from our previous childhood and we bring it here, guess who's picking it up? Our children. So we have to be careful of what we leave laying around in front of our kids. Not only that, you as a person should want to feel free. You should want to feel at peace. Next thing I wrote down is give yourself time to grieve. Denial, anger, sadness, acceptance. That's all. I'm going to do a whole nother segment on grief real soon. But in this moment right here, we have to understand that we have to allow our time. Grief doesn't just have to, wait a minute. Now, I ain't finna take it though. Grief doesn't just have to do with death. I just got it, y'all. Y'all got to forgive me. Grief just doesn't have to do with physical death. Go with me. When something dies in your life, think about you getting your healing, right? When something dies, when it dies off, give yourself time to grieve for that thing dying. If that abandonment died off, it's gonna take some time for you to accept it because you've been used to it all your life. When that feeling of anger, when that dies off, guess what? Give yourself time to accept it. It's a process when you are going through healing. It's a process when you're going through healing. So when you think about it, don't beat yourself up because anger tries to tiptoe back in your face. Don't get frustrated when abandonment or what happened in your past try to creep. Guess what? When things are dead, we have to take time to allow the acceptance to come in because we've been used to seeing it all our life. We've seen it our whole childhood. Some of us have been in relationship for over 20 years and been being abused. You're used to that. And I'm not just talking, people think abuse is just physical. Verbal abuse. Verbal abuse is for real. You know, it starts with verbal abuse, then it goes to the mental state, and it will destroy a woman. That's a whole nother conversation. Allow yourself to take time to grieve. We said that in the beginning. Talk to a trusted friend. That had everything to do with finding someone that you can trust that's not going to be judgmental. Consider your options. God knows best and has all the answer. He has all the answers. Set boundaries. Rebuild your trust. Establish healthy communication. I'm going to say this. Establish healthy communication in relationships. And set up accountability factors. It is important that the relationships that you have set up, don't be afraid. I'm gonna say this and I'm finna shut this video down. Don't be afraid when the people that were around you are no longer around you no more. When you see people start disappearing and it's been like a few months and almost a year, don't question it. Let it go. That's a part of your healing. God will send the right people in your life for you that will help you with your healing. Not only help you with your healing, but they'll push you into your purpose. Some of us have to use our purpose and our brokenness. We have to use our brokenness to get to our purpose. So with that, surrounding yourself, recognizing it, seeing it for what it is, not hiding it. Let's go from the top. First thing we said was commit to everything in prayer, meaning seek God first. Second, let your feelings flow. Get your journal. Find you somebody to talk to that ain't gonna judge you. Voice record. Take one day at a time. Practice self-care. Give yourself time to grieve. Consider your options before you make a decision. God knows best. So I hope that this video was encouraging to you guys. I'm so glad to be doing this again, y'all. I feel so good. But stay tuned for more. There will be more videos coming from your girl, but I hope this did bless you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow so you can stay up to date with everything that's going on. Y'all stay tuned for more. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.